So, after a couple of days of Feldenkrais lessons or Feldenkrais training, even if it's just 1 hour a day, there's something happening with people. Even the toughest guy with the hardest shell starts to become perceptive, introspective. People open up, everybody, not just the tough guys, everybody opens up to learning, introspection, to look inside, to feel, to be here, to really be here, to be in the room. Who would have thought how hot it's going to be today? Well, so today's lesson is a long one, a difficult one, many movements. So usually in a live group, in a live setting, I would teach it in 2 sittings, maybe on 2 different days, or in the morning and the afternoon. But because this is video, I can put everything in one video. Let's see how long it's going to be, and then you can work with the video. You can do it 1 time, or take a break in between, or do it a 2nd time, a 3rd time. You can review, jump into the video until you're familiar with all the movements, and the movements can get hold of you, get to work with you. You work with yourself, with the movements, until you have the knowledge, the gathered knowledge, and the fluency, how do they say, movement vocabulary. But not only that, because it's an experience, our somatic experience, our somatic learning. Learning with our whole self. So, as I think I already mentioned before, we just worked on the flexibility of the foot, getting to know the foot, how the foot works, what we can do. We can twist and lengthen the toes, and then how we get the foot to stand, and how to make it soft, and how we can stand on the inside edge, the outside edge. These variations of the lower ankle of the foot, lifting. And today we will go deeper into this function of pushing with the foot. So not just lifting the foot off the floor, but also pushing the ground with pushing. So that's a big thing. And we're going to go right into it. So sometimes as a Feldenkrais teacher, I talk more in the beginning of a class, especially if everybody's already so deep in the process, and we can sit a little bit and listen and then exchange. We don't have to, if you're with a loved one or with a friend, if you're doing these videos, this video workshop together with a friend, that's perfect. So you can exchange with each other and talk about your experience. I recommend doing that, to exchange what you are experiencing. And talk about it. So you have somebody to talk about these processes which really are happening. There's really something happening apart me sweating a lot. There's a lot happening in the body with your whole being. It's not just the body, it's your relationship to the world. Okay, without further ado, please, if you're not already on the floor, please come on the floor. We will start in lying prone on the stomach, on the belly, if that's possible for you. Please come to lie on your front side, on your belly. Alright, so please come to lie onto your belly, onto your front side. So we have a long journey. Therefore, don't strain yourself. Make yourself comfortable, as comfortable as possible. Maybe you want to put a cushion somewhere or a little teddy bear to cuddle. Just some I don't know. Just some any way to make yourself comfortable on your front side while you're on your front side, and then please, so you have both legs long, the entire legs lying long on the floor, and then bend your right knee. Yeah, there's a couple of ways to bend your right knee. There's a couple of ways, but bend it in a way so that your right knee stays on the floor and your right foot is towards the ceiling. So in class, of course, I do not demonstrate the movements. In video, of course, I do. But just a simple bending of the right knee so that your right foot is towards the ceiling, like this. So your right foot is in the air, suspended in the air. So your right foot is not touching anything. And you can't feel, I mean, you can feel the air, but you can't feel anything with your right foot except your own skin moving. So the first movement we're going to do in this lesson is to flex your foot. In physical therapy, it's called dorsiflexion, where you bring your toes closer to your shin bone, closer to your knee. So you pull your foot downwards a bit and let go again. It's dorsiflexion. You flex your whole foot and try how do you do this? Where do you have to put your knee to make this the best movement possible, and let go again. And see, when you pull down your toes towards your knee, there's a flexion. It's a flexion in your ankle, in your upper ankle, and let go again. And there should be a difference between flexed and relaxed. And you could flex the foot and let go, or you could flex and actively bring it back to where it was. So that's two different techniques. So after you did that a couple of times, just flex the foot. Focus, bring your attention to your big toe. The big toe. And it's the same movement. Flex your foot, but think of your big toe coming closer to your knee and let go again. The big toe. Okay, then focus on your small toe, your pinky toe. The small toe closer to your knee and let go again. Is that a difference between the big toe? I mean, there's a difference in difference. In distance, a difference in distance to your knee. A difference in distance between your big toe and your small toe. And maybe it's a slightly different movement. Just try if you can feel if there's a difference. And then what do you flex first? Do you flex your toes first, or do you flex your ankle first? Oh. So you have 5 toes. Try each one. The big toe, bring the big toe closer to your knee. The second toe closer to your knee. The third toe closer to your knee. The fourth toe closer to your knee. The fifth toe in your own speed. So you have all the different directions, vectors, force vectors. Different ways your foot can move in this simple movement of flexion movement, and then take a break, lengthen your leg. You can take a break on your back or on your front side as you wish. It's always good to do this first movement. I love it. Come on the floor, relax on the floor is one thing, but then to do the first movement is a totally different thing. So you have already done something. Okay, then come back onto your front side. We're going to do the left the left foot, of course. So bend your left knee. And then you can't even see your foot, you just have to feel it. And start to move, start to move, flex. Think of your big toe, it's the same like on the right foot. Think of your big toe coming closer to your left big toe coming closer to your left knee. And do this many times, many times. Then think of your small toe, so you can feel the difference between what you think of. It's still your foot, it's still the same movement, similar, very similar movement with your left foot, but because you think of something else, maybe you can think of your heel. We think of our toes. And then work through your toes. You think of your big toe, second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, the fifth toe. Always flexion. You can hold it, and let go again. Hold it, let go again. And the longer you do it, hopefully the more details you are able to notice. All the things that are happening in your foot, in yourself, with your breathing, with your neck, with how you lie on the floor. And then take a break and come onto your back. And we'll continue on the back. So it's worthwhile to come on the back. And just feel how you're resting on your back. Then please bring both feet to standing and your knee pointing towards the ceiling, so your feet are standing. So after the first lessons right now, I think your awareness for your feet should be quite clear. Is that something we can say about awareness, to be clear? But yeah, I think you will have a good feeling right now for the soles of the feet. And focus on your right foot. Think of your right foot and lift the toes and the forefoot of your right foot and tap against the floor. Then think of your left foot and tap with your left foot against the floor. Same or different? So when you do that, when you lift your toes from your foot, lift the toes left or right, and then you lift the forefoot, and then you come more and more on your heel. Can you feel that? How you've come onto the heel, and then down again. So you roll over your heel, and then you pat your foot down. And you should be able to hear that. Tapping. You should be able to put down your foot strong enough. Put down your foot strong enough so you can hear it. Yeah? Try left and try your right one. You lift your toes first, you lift the forefoot, you roll, your heel is rolling towards the edge of the heel, and then you tap down. Okay, think of your left foot and then bring the toes a little bit more to the outside and tap over there, more to the outside. It's a tapping on the outside. And then more to the front. So you tap to the front and bring your foot in a position where you can easily do that. Or put your toes facing towards the right foot. and tap over there. So there's a whole range of directions. Either you point your toes to the right or to the far left, and always try to tap, 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 tap in all those directions. Whoa! Can you feel that? It's a little bit strenuous. Could be. For me, it also depends on where your foot is standing. Maybe there's a good location for your foot where this is easier. And there's locations where it's more difficult. There's stupid locations where your foot is too far away or too far to the outside. Doesn't make any sense. So there's good locations and bad locations to put your foot. Try the same thing with your right foot. Tap it in different directions. Inside, outside, tap, tap, tap. And now we're still lying on our back. So you can really feel the details of this movement. So there's not much weight on the feet. You can do it very soft. Try that. Very slow, very soft, very gentle. Just your toes a little bit on the floor, on the inside, more towards the outside. So you can really feel. Allow yourself to feel how you do that. It's not just blindly executing the movement. Of course you know that. But it's gentle. Sensitivity. You feel it. You are the movement. You and the movement are one. You focus. That's what we do here. Just lift the foot and bring it down again. There's nothing more to do. There's nothing else to think of. Just this movement of lifting the foot and bring it down again. And then lengthen your legs again. Take a short rest on your back. And then please come onto your front side again. So for the next movement, please bend both knees and bring your feet together. So you don't need to touch the knees together. Well, if that's comfortable, that's okay. Or you can hold your knees further apart, so it's easier to touch your feet together. But you can exaggerate in any direction, so just have something like that's not too extreme. Just touch the inside edges of your feet. Think of your right foot and move your heel of the right foot to the right and bring it back. So your left foot doesn't move at all. There's no movement in your left foot. And the toes, the big toes, stay together. So it's just your right heel that moves to the outside and then comes to touch your left heel again. So it's really just a movement of your right foot and of course the right lower leg and maybe your right upper leg, and maybe you can feel it up to your back. Try not to constrain your breathing. Just the breathing is free flow. Your neck should be soft, your head in any position you like, and move your heel, your right heel, to the outside and to the inside. And then try to do it a little bit faster. When after you have this movement, you can try to do it faster. Yeah. When you do it faster, do you have to push, or is it the same movement? Then do it slower again. Okay. Take a short break. Just let go of the legs. Just fast, quick. Then bend your knees again. Touch the inside edges together again, and this time hold your heels together. The heels are together, and move the toes of your right foot away from the toes of your left foot. So the heels stay together, the left foot doesn't move at all, it's just the forefoot of your right. Yeah, and see how far you can do that. Try to do it slow. Does this have to... Do you have to do a movement like with your buttocks?
or with your upper leg, how can you support this movement of your toes going to the outside? What do you have to do to bring the toes to the outside? Try the toes and once the heel, once the toes and once the heel, once the toes and once the heel. So you use your left foot basically as a reference, and you just move your right foot. So you can feel, you touch your right foot to your left foot, and the left foot has feelings. It's better than a wall. Take a short break, very short, then bend your knees again, and do the same thing with your left foot. So first, keep the toes together and move the heel of your left foot further away from the heel of your right foot. Try to do that slow or fast. See how you do that. Then keep your heels together and just move the toes of your left foot to the outside, left. So your right foot is still, right foot is not moving, it's just the toes of your left foot going to the left. The forefoot, it's not just the toes alone, of course, it's the forefoot. And when you have this one down, if this moves well and you're happy with that movement, alternate between the heel of the left foot going to the left or the toes. Once the heel, once the toes, once the heel, once the toes. And then lengthen your legs, take a short break. Then bend your knees again, hold the inside edge of your feet together. And now with both feet. Move both heels apart from each other, both at the same time. Keep the toes together until you have a good feeling for that, until you feel like, yeah, that's good, I'm good at this. And then use your toes, bring the toes apart from each other. And then alternate the toes apart and the heels apart, the toes apart, the heels apart. So we don't do the movement for the movement. We do it to learn something, to experience ourselves, to get better control of the feet, to show some love to our feet by moving them through a whole range of unusual movements. And then take a short break, or a short break. And the next movement we're going to do in standing. So please, it's standing. This is a very dynamic lesson. We have to go up and down a lot. So please come up to stand. Alright, so we standing upright on top of on top of my feet, you're on top of your feet. Take a good stance, which is not too narrow and not too far away, not too far apart. So in other sports, people would say it's like shoulder width apart or something, but I don't know, I don't really know. If you're too narrow, it's difficult. If your feet are too close to each other, it's difficult to hold balance. It is possible, of course. But if they're too far apart, you're very safe. Yeah, people could not push you, and you can't really move well because just a reasonable width apart. And then lift the heel, so we're going to lift the heel of your right foot and start to stomp the heel of your right foot to the floor. And I want to be able to hear it. Yeah?
Yeah, okay, and then the same with the left heel. Stomp with your left heel. Yeah, so you can put your foot in different places. Just stomp both heels. So you start to have a feeling of stomping your heels in different places. So you, of course, where to do this. We will go more into detail later. So this is just a first approximation, a first time to do this. Just stomping a little bit, once with the right foot and once with the left foot. This can be fun. Just a little bit of stomping. But then try with your straight legs. Oh, this is more difficult. How to stomp with your straight legs. Oh yeah. So you have to fall onto your heels. So you come up and fall onto your heels. And keep your neck in a reasonable position, not too far forward, not too far backward. Just a straight position. And fall onto both heels. Try once to lift more with your left foot when you fall, and try once to lift more with your right foot. It's just an inner feeling when you lift and fall, and then in the center. And so you start to have a feeling of where do you have to put your feet. It doesn't make sense to have them too small, it doesn't make sense to have them too wide, but you will start to be able to feel where they should go. Probably it's when the heels are below your hip joints. Probably. So you fall onto your heels a couple of times. Okay, that's enough. Enough stomping. We will do more in a short while. Please come back onto the mat. We will continue on the back. No, on the front side. On the front side, short break. Oh, the sun is traveling. Oh, the spot. I could move my mat, but here my feet are in the spotlight. Funny. Alright, so you're on your front side, and then please bend your knees so the feet are again in the air. Ah, this is a different feeling already. Then keep your feet together, the inside edges of the feet together. The inside edge of the feet together. And move your forefoot of your right foot. So there's three directions you can go. You could flex your forefoot of your right foot so the toes come closer to your knee, to your right knee. We already did that. But you can also go in a different direction where you extend. That's like plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. I don't know why they call both flexion, but once your heel is coming closer to your knee, and at the other direction your toes are coming closer to your knee. Yeah, and then move the toes of your right foot further away, the forefoot further away from your left foot. The left foot just stays where it is. Left foot doesn't move. So you have these three directions, and start to make a circle with the forefoot of your right foot. So you can think of your heel, you can think of your toes, you can think of your forefoot, and whatever you think of, it's a little bit different feeling. And a different movement. So when the forefoot goes towards the ceiling, the heel goes towards the floor. If you stretch your heel further to the ceiling, your forefoot comes closer to the floor. It's always opposite direction, like a fulcrum. And then of course the toes to the outside. And try to make a circle. A nice circle with your right foot, with the forefoot, and the heels of your feet touching. The heels are touching, and try the other direction. Try to do both directions, and make sure it's a circle in your feeling. If you can't really see the foot,
and it's not so important to see it, but it's important to feel your foot. So it's a circle and not a square, or a triangle, or a polyhecto, I don't know. So try to make circle in one direction and the other direction. Try to make it small. So with very small circles, you can think of your big toe making very small circles. Touch the left foot at the edge of the circle and then see how far to the right you can make the circle, draw the circle, and then the other direction, small, bigger, like spiraling to become bigger, spiral, bigger and smaller. So we can play with the size of the circle and with the speed. So go really fast. Try how fast can you do the circle? Ooh, woo, 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 woo. Or very slow. Slow motion. Slow motion circle. And then let go again, take a short rest on your front side if that's comfortable. Then bend your knees again. Actually, that's a science on its own to bend the knee without arching the back. So it's just a movement in the hip joints and in the knees. So it's possible to improve that also, to work on that. But for our lesson now, just bend your knees, touch your feet together and try the same thing with your left foot. So you flex your left foot and you extend your left foot. And to the left and to the right, different circles, small circles, big circles. Faster, slower, different direction, counterclockwise or clockwise. And then extend your leg and come to take a break. And then we need to come up again to stand. So let's do that. Come up to standing again and continue our exploration in standing. Up, up. Up. Being upright. That's something quite amazing. So, our next movement in standing upright. Maybe start with your right foot. Put your right foot a little bit in front of your left foot and tap the toes on the floor. Tap the toes on the floor. Tap the toes on... Yes. Or the forefoot. So you lift your toes, you lift your forefoot and you tap it. And I want to be able to hear it. And if you live in Alaska, I want to be able to hear it. And if you live in southern France, I want to be able to hear it. Or in Australia. No matter where you are. Make that noise with
your foot. Yes. For some people it's really easy to do that noise. So it's loud enough, and for some people it's almost impossible. Some people have a hard time. So you have, if it's difficult for you, you have to find how to do this. So you roll the weight onto your heel, and then you put your foot down. You tap your foot down. So you might need some practice. If this is not smooth for you, practice it for a couple of days in all kinds. If you can go to the post office. Wait in line in the post office and do the stepping. Okay, try with the left foot. Yeah? You roll over your heel and you tap your foot, you tap your foot, tap your foot, tap your foot, tap, tap, tap. Okay, right foot again. Choose different directions for your toes. Toes more to the left with your right foot, and then like a window cleaner, to the window clean from one side to the other. Your toes to the right. Don't turn the whole body, just move your toes to the right, the forefoot to the right, and more to the center, in front, and to the left. Or when you go camping and you want to flatten the ground with your foot, you do, of course you would do stomping, but now just with the forefoot. In all directions. You can imagine in a bigger group, that's fun. If there's like 20 people and everybody's trying to do this, and there will be almost like drumming music in the room. With your left foot, try the different directions of your toes. The toes of your left, so how do you have to place yourself? How do you have to place your hip? Where do you have to put your foot? Where do you have to put your hip joints to be able to do this movement? To the left and to the right. Yeah? And then try to alternate. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. So that's a lot of fun with a group, and especially when we repeat it and do it again. So people start to get better at this and more confident. They dare more, they dare to be louder. Maybe that's a movement that's not allowed in some families, in some parts of the world, but now you have to do it. And move your feet closer to the inside, and then the toes closer to the outside. Alternate, and at the same time. Yeah, both feet at the same time. Alternate. So what do you have to do with your hip? So you can go into different position to be able to do this. Wow! Can you feel that in the front? I'm sure you can feel it in the front. So this is why we will have to do this in a couple of days. But we do it all in the same video, and you can work with the video for a couple of days. Alright, so we finished this movement, and we are in a movement sequence, so we need to continue with the next movement. Please come to lie on your mat again, on the floor again, on your back. And yeah, on your back, and take a little bit of a break. Maybe we need a break, maybe we need to rest the feet, the ankles, the muscles of our legs. Does this work with my camera, or is this too bright? To have a decent contrast. Alright, then please bring both feet to standing. And take hold of your right knee. Or behind the knee. Somewhere. So you can hold your knee. Yeah, have your left one standing as well. But your right leg fairly relaxed. And then flex your right foot and let go again. Flex your right foot and let go again. And do this a couple of times. I hope it's... If this is hurting too much, if it's too strenuous for you right now, maybe take a break for a day or half a day and continue then. So this can... You won't have a sore leg tomorrow. If you're fine, just continue. So flex the leg and the foot and extend the foot. So now the foot is hanging in the air. And yeah, you can't really feel anything else. Before we were tapping the floor in standing, so that's strong feedback from the floor. But now the foot is in the air, not so much feedback, it's just in the air. And start, so we have up and down and left and right. Can you remember lifting the outside and the inside edge and also turning the foot? So there's a lot of movement possibilities, making the foot smaller by flexing the toe or extending the foot. And start to make circles with your right foot. Slow, nice circles. In this situation you can see your foot, you can look at the foot if you like. Just to check, is it a circle or is it like a square or something? Are there like stops in between or is it a smooth movement? Make big circles, very big as possible. Wow, outside edge, difficult. And then start to become smaller, spiral into the smallness. Spiraling to become smaller and then change the direction of the circle and become bigger again. So we have the size we can work with, and then the other thing was the speed. You can do it faster. Big, fast circles. Small, fast something. That's not a circle. Try to do a circle. Ah, that's starting to be strenuous. I'm going to take a break. You can continue if you like. Oh, but I'm taking a break. So that's the thing. I have been teaching this lesson to a lot of people. Once I have been teaching this lesson to the same group of people, to my regular Tuesday class on 3 consecutive Tuesdays. Just because it's such an interesting lesson with so many details. I got better and people got better during these two weeks. They got a lot better. So they did it at the beginning of 1 week and then the center and then a fortnight later again, every Tuesday. And the last Tuesday was hilarious. Everybody was able to tap and to make sound and there was like drumming music and everybody was happy with their movements and their feet actually improved and the feet were getting stronger. So that's certainly a lesson you have to work with and to come back to a lot. So let's continue with the left foot. Please have both feet standing and lift your left foot. Hold your knee. So actually just hold your knee and you can have your left leg, your lower leg hanging down. Your lower leg is just hanging and then start with the left foot, start the movement. Just raise the toes and let go. Bring the toes of your left foot closer to your left knee and let go again. Closer to your left knee and let go again. and further away. So your heel comes closer to your left knee. It's still the circles, up and down movement. So first it's up and down, then it's left and right, and also a little bit of lifting the outside edge, inside edge, until you can combine. So we do the movements first, so you know what we have, like reference. You know what you're doing, up, down, left, right, twist, and then you can combine it to this complex movement of a circle. Complex as in it has many components. Big circles with the left foot, and okay, watch your breathing. So while you do these circles with your left foot, make sure you're breathing softly. You don't disturb your breathing. We did that in the second lesson. So don't let your ankles mess with your breathing. Just because you're circling the foot doesn't mean you have to hold your breathing or have a shallow breathing pattern or too deep or anything. Just normal breathing. Make sure your neck is relaxed while you do the circles. Maybe roll your head a little bit to the left and to the right. And you can do small circles. Also have your leg relaxed. Don't strain anything. It's just circles with the foot actually. But it's a big thing because we're not used to it. You can practice when you're in the subway or when you're at work or just sitting at the table. You can always practice this movement and also try to have a free neck and free breathing. Then let your feet down, take a rest on your back, short rest. And then we need to come up again. We need to continue with this exploration in standing. So please roll over one side and come to stand. We're standing again. And let's shortly review before we did the tapping. Can you try again? Tap, 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 tap with the right foot. And tap, 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 tap with the left foot. So first of all, there should be the sound. More outside edge, more inside edge, but you should hear the tapping. And then it shouldn't be that much of a big issue to change between the feet. This should be easy, or both feet together. Yeah? You can also walk like this. That's the annoying loud walking with the forefoot. What is this? The duck foot walking? Alright, so for the next movement in this sequence, again, tap your heel. So we review this heel tapping. Yeah? So you tap the heel and tap the heel a little bit more to the inside and then tap the heel a little bit more to the outside. So we have the forefoot and the heel. Then with the left foot, try to tap the heel. So if your foot is hurting or has some problem, try to tap around it. If there's a spot that's uncomfortable, or just try to make it very softly and see how far can you go. Because when you put momentum, if there's a little bit of speed, then the tissue might be more protective. Then when you go very slow, the tissue is very soft. But if you go fast, the tissue will harden up. Then alternate between right heel and left heel. Yeah, so the question was maybe, do you have to put your heel in different directions? Yes, try different places for your heel. With the left heel, try different places for your right heel until you come to the point where you can go on both heels. And of course you have to be careful of your spine. So you have your knees slightly bent and you raise your feet a little bit and you come onto your heels. Pam pam in Bones for Life, I think. They call it pam pam or pom pom, pum pum. Oh, here this is Feldenkrais. You fall onto your heels and then just with the right heel. So there has to be a movement in your hip joint, oh my god, and your hip. And with the left one. And with both. Or with your knees bent a little bit more. Yeah? Okay, then take a break. Take a break in standing. Just a little bit walking. Little break in standing. See how you're standing. Just feel the soles of your foot, the support, and then come back onto your mat in resting on your back, supine position. Yeah, take a rest. Rest on the back. Ay, 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 ay. I feel more subtle. I feel like my whole body is becoming softer, is already softer. My feet are awake. So there's 2 dragonflies in here, like 3 normal flies. There's a big door here. Oh, there's a big bird. It's like a bird of prey, a big one, and a small bird, blue sky. Okay, so many animals. Then please bring your feet to stand. So your feet are standing. Yeah? So where's the good location for the feet to stand on the floor? Now, tap with your right heel on the floor with the feet standing. Then tap with your left heel on the floor. A couple of times. Right foot. Left foot. Okay. Then put your feet together and your knees together. And with both feet together, lift both heels and yeah, that's more difficult. Tap with both heels. Wow! Is there a tapping sound at all? Now with the heels together, just tap with your right foot with the heel. See how that works. Then only tap with your left heel, so from your left foot. Your right foot keeps standing on the floor, tap with the left heel. Then again with the right one. Relax, relax, relax. Why are flies such social insects? The flies are always coming to sit on other animals. Short rest. Bring your feet to stand again. Feet together. And again, try to lift your left heel and tap your left heel. And then with the left heel a little bit more to the outside. And a little bit more closer to your right foot until you touch the feet together. Try that a couple of times. And then the same thing with your right foot. So the left foot stands still and the right foot to the outside, tapping, and to the middle, tapping. And then try to tap with both heels together. Ah, that's better. Feet together, knees together, lifting the heels, tapping with the heels. Short break. So there's a couple of variations, not very difficult variations. So it's easy to remember, easy to come up with yourself. You have to think, what am I supposed to do? Tap with the heels in different locations, with feet together, feet apart, heels further apart than the toes. Just a couple of variations. Then please bring your... Are you good again to go? Or need a little bit longer break? If you are ready, please bring your feet to standing. Feet together and tap with the forefoot of your right foot a little bit. And with the left one. You can do it softly or stronger. Or with the heel, softly or stronger. I know it's noontime, and because it's noontime, the flies come inside. It's so interesting to be here in nature. So during the day, different animals show up, and different insects show up, different bird sounds, different insect sounds. It's quite interesting. Nature is so interesting, so diverse. All right, so as you may have noticed, I'm already taking a break again. On the back. And then for our last movement, yes, this sequence is coming to an end. There is an end to this sequence, to this lesson. Quite amazing. We need to come up to stand again. Please, come onto your feet, up to standing for the last... Hello, sun. Hello, sunlight. For the last variation. To conclude this lesson, please come up. All right. Standing again. A new kind of standing, a new kind of feeling on the feet. So what did we do in standing? The tapping. So review. Tap, tap, tap with one foot. Tap, tap, tap with the other. And then on the heels, tapping on the heels. And now we put the whole body on top of the heels. So please tap on your heels, raise both heels, and that's the function we were looking for. To come on the heels, maybe try one side first, just with the right knee bend and the left knee bend, and tap with both heels on the floor a couple of times, short rest. Again, put your right foot a little bit in front and just tap with your right heel. Then put your right foot a little bit closer underneath your hip. Tap with your right heel. So you're standing almost straight and the knees are a bit bent, just a little bit, tiny little bit. Tap with your right foot, with the heels, with the right heel. Then tap with the left heel. Then with both. Yeah. Tap, tap, tap. Alternate right and left. Then on both again, until you have this feeling. What's this? Are the Germans coming? Airplane. Alright, tap with both heels until you have the feeling where is the lightest. The best alignment to come up and on your heels. Come up and tap on your heels. If the knees are too far apart, it might be difficult. If they're too close together, it might be difficult. There is an ideal place for your feet to come onto your feet. Okay, short break. Short break. Just a step. Okay. This is the end of this lesson. My God, time is so fast. Okay, then again, come on your heels and then come to hopping. Bring this movement to hopping, and it's very light. And stop again. It's a very light movement. It's just a logical next step. It's not something completely new. It's flexing, extending the feet to come to bring your feet under your pelvis. It's just a logic movement. It's the next movement after tapping. Is the hopping. Yeah? And you have to feel that connection. From lying supine, tapping with your foot, tapping with your heel, to standing, tapping, to have your heels underneath, to rise yourself up on your heels, fall on your heels, and the next logical step is this little hop. Hop. Until it's easy. Easy to hop, hop. Hop, hop. Yeah? And practice that. Practice that until it's easy, until you can feel the connection, until it's easy for you. Alright, that was great! As always, thank you for watching. And we have one more lesson. And in the meanwhile, maybe you want to practice with these movements. If you have the chance, go outside, take a walk. I will take a walk right now outside, and I see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.